Fractions. You hear that word and maybe, just maybe, you get a little bit of that math anxiety, right? But what if I told you you're already a fractions pro? Seriously, you use them all the time without even thinking about it. In this explainer, we're going to pull back that curtain and show you the simple, super powerful world of fractions that's hiding in plain sight.
Let's get real for a second. Ever wonder how you get your fair share of, well, anything? You're splitting a pizza with friends, you're sharing a dessert, maybe you're just dividing up chores. How do you make sure it's all even, that everyone gets what they're supposed to? That's a fundamental question we deal with all the time. And the answer? The big secret to getting your fair share and, honestly, so much more? It's fractions. Yeah, that's it. They're just the language we use to talk about parts of a whole. And once you get the hang of them, it's like unlocking a superpower for your everyday life. I'm not even kidding.
All right, first up, let's dive in and see just how common these little numbers really are. You might be shocked to find out you're basically a fractions expert and didn't even know it.
Oh yeah, I mean they're everywhere. Think about it. You grab 3 slices from an 8-slice pizza, boom, you just use 3/8. A recipe calls for a half cup of flour. That's a fraction. You say it's a quarter past the hour or you're waiting for halftime in the big game. You guessed it, all fractions. They're like the secret code of our daily lives.
Okay, so since we're using them constantly, let's just break one down and see what it's actually made of. I promise it's way simpler than it looks.
Let's stick with our pizza example, because who doesn't love pizza? This right here, 3/8, is what a fraction looks like. You've got a top number, a bottom number, and that little line in between, and each part has a very specific job to do. Let's start at the bottom, the denominator. Okay, a good way to remember this one is that the denominator is down at the bottom. It tells you the total number of equal parts your whole thing is cut into. For our pizza, we had 8 total slices, right? So our denominator is 8. And that top number, that's the numerator. The numerator tells you the number of pieces we're actually talking about. So we took 3 of those 8 slices, which means our numerator is 3. Put it together, and you get 3/8. See? Simple as that.
All right, now that we've got the basic anatomy down, let's meet the different characters in the fraction family. Yeah, you can think of them like a family. They each have their own personality, but they're all related.
So, the family has 2 main branches. Over here on the left, you've got your proper fractions. This is where the top number is smaller than the bottom, like 2/3. It just means you have less than one whole thing. But on the right, these are improper fractions, and this is where the top number is bigger than or even the same as the bottom one, like 5/4. This means you've got at least one whole thing and maybe some extra parts. Sometimes you'll see an improper fraction like 5/2, and it's just easier to think about it as a mixed number. And turning it into one is a piece of cake. Seriously, you just divide the top by the bottom. So 5 divided by 2. Well, that goes in 2 times with a remainder of 1, right? That 2 is your big whole number. The remainder, that 1, is your new top number. And you just keep the same denominator. So 5/2 becomes 2.5. Easy. Okay, we know what they are, we've met the family, now for the fun part. Let's see how to actually use them. It's time to add some really cool fraction tools to our math toolkit. Now, adding and subtracting. Here's the one rule you gotta remember. It's all about the denominator. If they're the same, if the bottom numbers match, life is good. You just add or subtract the top numbers, and you're done. 1/4 plus 2/4? Easy, 3/4. But if the denominators are different, hold on. You can't combine them yet. You have to find a common denominator first. You got to make the piece sizes the same before you can add them up. Multiplying? Oh, this is where it gets super simple. Forget everything I just said about common denominators. You don't need them here. You literally just multiply straight across. Top times top, that's your new top. Bottom times bottom, that's your new bottom. That's it. So much easier, right? Okay, now for division. This one has a little trick to it, but once you hear this magic phrase, I promise you, you will never ever forget it. The 3 magic words are keep, change, flip. Let's see this thing in action. Let's say we want to divide 1/2 by 1/3. Just follow the chant. First, you keep the first fraction, so that's 1/2. Then you change the division sign to multiplication. And finally, you flip the second fraction upside down, so 1/3 becomes 3/1. And now, it's just a multiplication problem. Multiply straight across, and you get 3 halves. Keep, change, flip. It works every single time.
All right, for our last section, we're going to connect fractions to their two really close cousins, decimals and percentages. This is where the whole picture really starts to come together.
So let me throw a question at you. What do 1/2, 0.5, and 50% all have in common? I mean, they look completely different, don't they?
Well, surprise, they're not different at all. They're just three different ways of saying the exact same thing. Think of it like this. They're all different outfits for the very same value. They all just mean half. And getting this is a huge step toward being really comfortable with numbers. And switching between these outfits, it is so incredibly easy. To turn any fraction into a decimal, all you do is divide the top number by the bottom. So 3 divided by 4, that's 0.75. Then, to turn that decimal into a percentage, you just multiply by 100. So 0.75 becomes 75%. It's that simple.
And here, just for you, is a little cheat sheet with some of the most common conversions you're going to see all the time. A quarter is 0.25 or 25%. 1/5 is 0.2 or 20%. Knowing these by heart, it's going to make your everyday math feel so much faster.
So there you have it. We've cracked the code. Fractions aren't some scary monster from math class. They're just a simple, powerful language for understanding our world in pieces. We've seen how they work, how to use them, and how they're connected to all the other numbers you see every day. From the kitchen to your car's gas tank to your bank account, they are absolutely everywhere. So the only question left is, now that you know the secret code, where are you going to spot them next?